Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, and today I have a story time video that I just wanted to squeeze in between the pregnancy and weight loss videos because I was thinking about this and I told some of my friends and they said, why haven't you uploaded this? Because it is a crazy weird story that maybe doesn't happen to everyone, but it happened to me. So all my friends know this happened in grade 9. The title is not clickbait whatsoever. So I met this guy in grade 7 while I was in grade 8. And we will call him George, okay? His name is George for the sake of this video. And George started at our school and we became friends with him. We met him because we knew the other people that were in the foster home. And it didn't take long to realize that George was kind of a bad kid at the age of 12 or 13. I think he was 12, okay? And George was a criminal at the age of 12, which is crazy to say, but I don't mean little white lies. I mean criminal as in theft of cars. We found out he was this bad kind of guy, and you know, being at the age of 12 or 13, you're dumb and you kind of don't believe it. You kind of just think that, you know, when you think a guy's just trying to talk himself up kind of thing and sound cool. That's kind of how we all thought. But I remember at grade 8 graduation, he actually got arrested. There was a cop car outside and he was arrested. So yeah, which is a little crazy. So at the time I was dating this guy. It wasn't serious or anything, obviously, but I was dating this guy just for a few months. Basically, he went to jail and he sent a letter from jail to my address and had this other guy in the foster home drop it off, and my mum found out and it was a big thing. And yeah, so that's time I don't even want to remember. I was in a lot of trouble. But that's basically how my mum found out that he was this really bad guy. In the summer of grade 8, because he was arrested on graduation day, so then it was summertime of grade 7 and 8, and I was sitting at the park waiting for one of my friends. I can't remember who I was waiting for. And this other guy who was a year older than me, so was already in high school, in grade 9, or going into grade 10, and this guy, we'll call him Chad. This Chad starts walking towards me, and I didn't know him, but I knew of him because he was also friends with George. So I knew of him and I saw Chad coming, and I randomly said hi, and I was sitting at this picnic table and he sat at the one next to me, and then I looked over and saw it was him, and I just said hi. He said hi, came and sat with me. So we ended up hanging out because I think the other person I was waiting for cancelled and he was just kind of by himself. So we ended up hanging out at the park. It didn't take long before me and Chad started dating, which lasted for about 3 or 4 months, and went into high school. So high school started, the summer was great, me and this Chad guy had a good time. He wasn't a bad guy or anything. We got into high school, everything was still fine, except one day I remember being called down to the office in grade 9. I just started grade 9 and I was being called down to the office, and I'm like, oh my god, why am I getting called down? And the principal basically sat me down and said, they knew we were dating. I don't know how, I guess they asked friends, do you know who he's closest to, blah blah blah. He basically asked me if I had seen Chad, and I was like, no, not, I guess I hadn't seen him since the night before or anything. And I thought that was a little weird that they were asking that, and they basically told me Chad is missing. And I was like, what do you, okay. They were like, do you know where he hangs out, or blah blah blah, do you have the information to his social media to get on and see if we can figure out where he is? So I did mention that they were friends, George and Chad, and I don't know how they came to this conclusion. And they were right, so that's great, but I don't know how they came to this conclusion that Chad is probably with George. Later that day I went back down, or the next day or whatever, I went back down and I did have his Facebook password, so I logged onto it to see if there was any activity on there that could help find where he is located. There wasn't anything. I knew where George was from. George is the ex. I knew where he was from, and it's a city over, like it's called the Reserve, the Indian Reserve. I knew he was like, he would hang around that area because he was native, so he hung out with a bunch of people in that neighborhood. So I said to them, I said like, have you checked this city, because that's where George hangs out. So they asked me if I wanted to come along with them and the cop to that city to point out if I see one of them. And my mom didn't want me to go, and to be honest, I didn't really want to go either, because I didn't want to get involved in something in case, you know, George was being a criminal. So I didn't end up going, but the cop went, and I think the principal went, and I think his parents, Chad's parents, stayed behind. I did have contact with them, and they were looking for him too. They couldn't find him anywhere. So I suggested they check the city. By this point, this was over the course of like trying to figure out where he was, of like a week. So by this point, he was missing for probably about a week. And I just kept getting called into the office for updates or to investigate social media with them and blah blah blah. So it's been about a week, and they finally take that trip to the reserve, and they come back and they finally call me down again saying, we have found Chad. And I was so relieved at the time, because like they found him alive, thank God, but I didn't know what George was capable of doing. So I was kind of upset for that week, because, you know, Chad was missing. When he got back, his head was all shaved into like a weird way, as if they were trying to get like make him one of them, one of like, I don't know if he was in a gang or whatever, if George was in a gang, but like they'd shaved his head into the same haircut as all of them. As he came back, it was revealed that Chad was walking down the street and George came flying by in this stolen truck. Yes, a stolen truck, of course. Came flying by in the stolen truck and grabbed Chad and yanked him in. And from there, they either drugged him or got him really, really drunk to the point where he was like unconscious. Because I do remember the cop saying he was unconscious when they were traveling from the city to the next one. So they had drugged him up, got him unconscious, whatever, and then shaved his head so that he was one of them. So yeah, that is, me and Chad ended up breaking up shortly after. That is the time that my ex-boyfriend George kidnapped my current boyfriend at the time, Chad. Luckily, I can say that no other boyfriends or ex-boyfriends have been kidnapped. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and subscribe to get notified when I upload more. All of my updated social media will be linked below, because I changed the name of my Instagram and it kind of made a big confusion as to what my Instagram actually is. So I will have my updated Instagram and Twitter all below, so that you guys can just follow the one and there's no more confusion and all of that good stuff. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!